morning students. Today I am going to teach plus 1 commerce fourth lesson, chapter 4, unit 2, forms of business organization. What do you mean by forms of business organization? Textbook page number 23. So they have given the introduction. A business organization is an organization which is engaged in some industrial or commercial activity. Okay. A business organization is an organization which is engaged in some industrial or commercial activity. It represents an institutional arrangement for carrying on any kind of business activity. It may be owned and controlled by a single individual or by a group of individuals who have entered into a formal or informal agreement to jointly conduct a business. So he has given the meaning of business activity. So if anyone want to start the business, they can start individually or collectively. Okay, individually or collectively entered into the formal or informal agreement or to jointly conduct the business. Every business undertaking is a separate and a distinct business unit. It has own identity and a separate ownership. It can be distinguished from other undertakings on the basis of ownership, management, control, etc. Now, according to Wheeler, page number 23, according to Wheeler, he is saying a business undertaking is a concern, company or enterprise which buys and sells, is owned by one person or a group of persons and is managed under a specific set of operating policies. Okay, is giving the meaning for business. What is saying that the business is undertaking is a concern, company or enterprise which buys and sells. Okay, any concern, any company or any enterprises which buys and sells is owned by one person. Okay, so I am doing one business means I am buying and selling some goods. It can be done by a single person or a group of persons or one or two persons. Okay, it is managed a specific set of operating policies. All business undertakings are directly or indirectly engaged in the transfer of exchange of goods and services for value. So they deal in goods and services on a regular basis. Their main motive to earn the profit, and they are exposed to various types of risks. Okay, listen here. Why people are doing business? To earn profit. Okay, either big person or a small person, everyone doing the business for what? To earn money. Okay, so this business can be done by a single person or group of persons. Now we are going to read here, that is study here, sole proprietorship. What do you mean by sole proprietorship? Sole proprietorship, the meaning of sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is a form of business organization in which an individual introduces his own capital, uses his own skill and intelligence in the management of its efforts, and it is solely responsible for the results of its operation. The individual alone may run the business or may obtain the assistance of employees. It is the first stage of the evaluation of the forms of business organization. So it is the oldest among them. See, what do you mean by sole trading business? Sole trading business is a business. A single person is contributing capital and managing all the business activities. Okay, if the result is profit, he only enjoying all, and if the result is loss, he have to bear all the loss. Okay, so this sole trader, that is the sole proprietorship business, is the oldest form of business organization, and this is the first business organization. Okay, sole proprietorship is the oldest form of organization, and not only it is the oldest form of organization, it is the first stage of the business organization. When we enter into the business organization, the first business organization is what? Sole proprietorship. What do you mean by sole proprietorship? A single person contributing capital Okay, and managing all business activities. He is called that type of business is called sole proprietorship or sole trader. Okay, now come to the page number 24 in our textbook, page number 24. Forms of business organization he has given. See, the forms of business organization can be classified into two categories. What are they? Non-corporate enterprises and corporate enterprises. Okay, non-corporate enterprises and corporate enterprises. That non-corporate enterprises may be classified into three categories. What are they? Sole trading concern and partnership firms and joint Hindu family. Okay, so the non-corporate enterprises can be classified into sole trading concern, partnership and joint Hindu family. I'll explain you what do you mean by non-corporate enterprises. That is, non-corporate enterprises is nothing but the business and the owner are one and the same. That is, business and the owner of the business one and the same. Suppose the owner is died, the business will be closed. So if the owner is there, the business will run. It means that the owner and the business one and the same. Okay, one and the same. That is called what? Non-corporate organization enterprises. Under the non-corporate enterprises, there are three types of business will come. One is what? Sole trader, and another one is partnership firm. The third one is joint Hindu family business. Okay, they are asking in 2 marks what are the non-corporate enterprises. Okay, you have to write that there are three non-corporate enterprises are there. Number one, what? Sole proprietor concern, then partnership business and joint Hindu family business. Okay, what do you mean by corporate enterprises? Corporate enterprises is nothing but owner and business are entirely differ. That is, differ from the owner. Owner is differ from the business. Business is differ from the owner. Non-corporate enterprises means owner and business one and the same. Both are same. Okay. Owner and business both are same under non-corporate enterprises. But in corporate enterprises, owner is entirely differ from the business. Even the owner contributed crores of capital, whatever it may be, but after the incorporation of the business, the owner is differ from the business. Owner is differ from the business. That is called corporate enterprises. Under the corporate enterprises, there are three types of classifications are there. Number one is government, then private and cooperative. Government can be classified into public undertakings and public utilities. Private can be classified into joint stock companies, and the cooperative society, the same cooperative society. So this is the flow chart which explains as what are the non-cooperative corporate enterprises and corporate enterprises. This flow chart is available in our textbook. Page number 24. Page number 24. Okay. Now, the definition of sole trader. So, in this chapter, it is fully explained about who is sole trader, what is sole proprietorship business, everything, and what are the features, advantages and disadvantages. Very important chapter this one. So, many times they ask in 5 marks, 2 marks and all. Many questions asked from this chapter. Now, come to the page number 24. Definition of sole trader. Definition of sole trader. What do you mean by sole trader definition? The definition given by J.J. Hansen. Sole trader is a type of business unit where a person is solely responsible for providing the capital, for bearing the risk of the enterprises and for the management business. Sole means single. Trader, businessman. Single businessman is a type of business unit where a person is, that the single person is solely responsible for providing the capital. The single person have to contribute the capital. Suppose one person want to start one small hotel or small tea stall. So for that person have to contribute capital, say example 50,000, 1 lakhs, 2 lakhs, etc., etc., etc. So the whole amount he only have to contribute, and he have to look after all the business activities like purchase, sales, management, administration, accounting, etc., etc., etc. Everything will be done by the same person. So he have to contribute all the capital, he have to look after all the business transactions and business activities, and he have to get the benefit from all the profit. If suppose the profit will come, means he will only take all the profit. Suppose the business get loss, means that loss also will be borne by the same person. Such a person is called sole trader or sole proprietor. Sole means single. Okay, so this definition given by J.J. Hansen. So many times they asked in quarterly, half-yearly and all, what do you define sole trader? Define sole trader. So you have to write the definition of sole trader given by J.J. Hansen. Now, one more author given for the definition of sole trader, who is called Wheeler. He has given that definition also available in the page number 24. Sole proprietorship is that form of business organization which is owned and controlled by a single individual. He receives all the profit and risks all of his property in the success or failure of the enterprises. He also explains the same way only. The person who is contributing all the money, and he have to look after all the business transaction, and he have to enjoying all the profits, and he have to own all the losses. Such a person is called sole trader. Okay, so there are two definitions given by different peoples. One is J.J. Hansen and another one is Wheeler. So suppose in examination they asked define sole trader, means you have to write either J.J. Hansen or given by Mr. Wheeler. Okay. Next, characteristics of a sole trader. Very, very important 5-mark question. Please note it down. Very, very important 5-mark question. Characteristics of sole trader. Characteristics of sole trader. The first point of the characteristic of sole trader is ownership by one person. That is one man. Ownership by one man. It means what? This is owned by a single person. The sole trader business owned by a single person. The sole trader contributes the required capital. So he have to contribute how much of amount he need to start the business. So all the capital he only have to contribute, and he is not only the owner of the business but also the manager of the entire affairs. See, usually if you contribute the capital, means generally people will call us owner, but in the sole trader, owner have to contribute the capital and he have to look after all the business affairs like purchase, sales and administration, accounting, everything. For example, take in our local area, we are looking many small merchants like vegetable merchants and provision store merchants and all. What they will do usually, so they will start the business, he only do all the business activities. For example, vegetable merchant means what he'll do, in the early morning he'll go to the market and he'll buy all the vegetables and needed items and he'll sell. So then tomorrow morning he'll go and he'll buy all the articles and he will sell. So purchase and sales and accounting and administration, everything done by a single person only. Those who, and he have to contribute the capital also. That is why the first point says ownership by one man. Okay, here the owner is only one person. He have to contribute all the capital of the business and he have to look after all the business activities or affairs of the business. Second point, freedom of work and quick decision. Please see page number 24. Under the characteristics, I am reading the second point. Freedom of work and quick decision. Since the individual is himself as a owner, he need not consult anybody else. Hence, he can take quick decisions. For example, if you want to buy one fridge, did he want to consult anybody? No, because he is business, he is capital, he is money. Yeah, okay, he have to take all the decisions. So he won't consult anybody. That is why he is saying freedom of work. So he can do his work at a freedom manner and he can take a quick decision. Okay. Immediate decision he'll take. Suppose he want to buy something for his business, something for his shop, means he don't want to consult anybody, so he can buy immediately. So he'll take the quick decision as well as freedom of work. Okay, what is the third one? Unlimited liability. Very, very important point. This question is very, very important. Please mark it. So this question will ask in 2 marks many times. What do you mean by unlimited liability? Okay. When his business assets are not sufficient to pay the business debts, he has to pay from his personal property. Listen here. Suppose a sole trader started a business and he buy some assets and his goods, everything will be the total amount of rupees 5 lakhs. The total of his business value is 5 lakhs rupees. His assets and his goods values, everything. So he want to sell his business. Suppose he borrow some loans from X or Y. For example, 7 lakhs rupees he borrow from one friend. Okay, but he is unable to pay his debts. What happened? The creditor which he gave the loan to us know that he is called creditor. The creditor will claim the amount. Actually, you borrowed for 7 lakh rupees. No, you return back 7 lakhs rupees. He said, no, actually I don't have 7 lakh rupees. What he will do means, so he will come and collect all the assets. Suppose the assets value of his business only 5 lakhs rupees. But he will claim the extra 2 lakhs from his personal property. You understood or not? For example, I am the businessman. My business total asset is only 5 lakhs rupees. But I borrowed my friend, another businessman 7 lakhs rupees. Okay, if I am unable to pay this 5 lakhs rupees, what the creditor will do means he will come and take over my business. Okay, so that is only 5 lakhs rupees. No, the balance 2 lakhs rupees, how he can collect means from my personal. For example, my house property, or suppose my own vehicle or my own jewels, everything he can take, because he gave me 7 lakhs rupees, but I returned back only 5 lakhs rupees. No, the balance 2 lakhs rupees will be collected by the creditor from my personal assets. Okay, so that is why he is saying when his business assets are not sufficient to pay off the business debts, he has to pay from his personal property. That is called what? Unlimited liability. Fourth point, enjoying entire profit. Suppose the sole proprietorship getting all, profit every year means all the profit will be taken by the sole trader only, because he only contributed all the money, he only look after all the events of the business organization. So what he will do, if the business will get profit means all the profit will be taken by and enjoyed by the single person. Okay, so that's why he is saying enjoying entire profit. Then the next point is absence of government regulations. A sole trader need not to get any need not to do any registration for his business. If he is having place at the capital means he can start the business even at in his own place or market or anywhere he can start the business. So he don't want to get any confirmation from the government and other peoples. So that's why he is saying absence of government regulation. A sole proprietor concern is free from government regulations. No legal formalities are to be observed in its formulation. So management or its closer. Suppose you want to start the business, you can start the business. Suppose you want to close the business, you can close the business. You don't want get any confirmation or any other legal certificates from the government. So there is no government regulations to the sole trader business. Next, no separate entity. The sole trader trading concern comes to an end with death, disability, insanity and insolvency of the individual. That is why he is saying no separate entity. So the sole trader business will not go till last. Suppose the sole trader die, the business may be closed, or the sole trader may get accident, or suppose any other problem means he have to close the business. So there is no separate entity for the sole trader business. Next, maintenance of secrecy. Since he is the single owner, so he will not reveal the secrecy of the business. So he is the single person, means he will kept all the secrets with him only. So maintenance of business secrets. Since that he or she manages all the affairs of the business, so the secrecy can be maintained. Now next, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, now let us see the advantages of sole trader business. Number one, easy formation. So we can easily start the business, okay, with the minimum capital. For example, you are having only 1000 rupees means you can start with the help of 1000 rupees. You can start a small, for example, you can buy some fruits for 1000 rupees, you can sell. You are having 2000 rupees means for 2000 you can buy some other articles and you can sell. So sole trader business can start easy manner because no legal formalities are required to initiate a sole trading concern. Any person capable of entering into a contract can start it, provided he has the necessary resources. It means you should have a capital and place, everything, etc. Okay. Next, incentive to work hard. There is a direct relationship between effort and reward. The fact that the entire profit can be taken by himself without sharing with anybody else includes him to work seriously, okay, ceaselessly. It means, what he's saying means, suppose you are doing one work, you are getting 1 lakh rupees. That 1 lakh rupees will be used by you only, means what you will do? You will do very careful manner, very effective manner, very serious manner, because the whole amount should come to you only, no. So like that, in sole trader business also, incentive to work hard means you have to, if he work hard means all the profits will come to him only. Okay, so he will take care of the business, he will work hard to get the full profit. Okay, next, the third point is page number 26. The third point is small capital. That is, if you want to start the sole trading business, you don't want a huge capital. Okay, suppose you are having 1000, you can start the business for 1000. Suppose you are having 1 lakh, you can start the business for 1 lakh. So capital is not a big sort for the sole trader business. Small capital is an important as well as specific advantage of sole proprietorship. Sole proprietor can start business with a small capital. Then the fourth point is credit standing. What? Credit standing. What do you mean by credit standing? That is, since his private properties are held liable for satisfying business debts, he can get more financial assistance from others. Because he is giving the personal assets also. If the creditors claims the debt amount means he have to pay his business assets. Suppose if it is not sufficient, he will pay the personal assets also, personal amount also. So the creditors will ready to give the loan to the sole trader. So that's what he is saying. Credit standing is more. So anybody can give the loan to start the business for sole trader business. Next, personal contact with the customers. Since Sole proprietorship knows all the customers, so our customers taste, preferences, everything. So local, he will start the business in local area only. Why? Means then only he will know the taste and the preference of the customers. Okay, so personal contact with the customers is possible in the sole trader business. Next, flexibility. The sole trader can easily adjust himself to changing the requirements of the business. Okay, because you know the very well of the taste and the preference of the customers, he can easily alternate his decisions and easily alternate his business also. So that is what flexibility. Suppose if the business is not running properly, means immediately you can change the business. Flexibility. Okay, next, disadvantages. This is very, very important. Usually in here, features, advantages, disadvantages, at least read minimum 5 points, because definitely one question will come in examination. What are the features of sole trader? Any 5 points you read. What are the advantages of sole trader? Any 5 points you read. Now disadvantages, maximum 5 points only there, so you must read 5 points in disadvantages also. Definitely one question will come in 5 marks or 2 marks. Define sole trader, or meaning of sole trader, or so what do you mean by credit standing, or what do you mean by unlimited liability? These all are very important 2 mark questions. Okay, now disadvantages. Limited capital. See, the sole trader will contribute only limited capital, so he cannot expand the business. If you want to expand the business, he don't have much capital, no. So he will not do the very big business. If you contribute small capital, you do the small business only. So he cannot expand the business. So limited capital is the disadvantages for him. Since the capital is contributed by one individual only, so business operations have necessarily is to be on a limited scale only. That is small type of business only he can do. Large type of business he cannot do, because since his capital is very low. Limited managerial skill. Here the second point what explains means, he have to contribute the capital, he have to look after all the business activities like purchase, sales, administration, accounting, etc, etc, etc. So what will happen means, all the activities will be managed by the single sole trader. So he will not getting the rest, so he will not think novel ideas, so by that time he will get tired. Okay, what will happen? Automatically his skill will be reduced. So since he have to take all the participation in all the business activities, so the other thing will not get more, that is profit will not get more, because he have to look after all the activities of the business, so he will not engage effectively. Okay, next, unlimited liability. So if the creditor claim the business debts, means the businessman, the sole trader, what he'll do means, if the business assets is not sufficient, for example he borrowed 10 lakhs rupees, but his business assets only 7 lakh rupees, means so he have to give the business assets along with his own, that is private properties also, like car, anything, any assets, jewels, he have to sell. Okay, he have to sell and give to the creditor. So this is the unlimited liability. It is a law, it is a risk of the business. Then lack of specialization. Since the business unit is very small, the financial resources are limited, so an expert in different fields cannot be employed to secure maximum advantages. The last point is hasty decision. If we take a quick, hasty is nothing but quick decision. If we take a quick decision, what will happen? Automatically sometimes he will get a loss, or he will meet some problems or risk. Okay, so we have to discuss the matters and we have to take the decisions, but here there is no chance of taking discussed decision or consulting decision, because since he is the only one person, he will take immediate actions, immediate decisions. Sometimes it will give a good result, sometimes it will give a bad result. Okay, so hasty decision will give the bad results. Okay, so these all are the disadvantages. Once again I'll tell you in student. So here, meaning of sole trader, definition of sole trader, and characteristics of sole trader and advantages, disadvantages of sole trader. In all the points you must read minimum 5 points. Definitely one question will come in the public examination or all the examination. Please write your classwork, page number 27, choose the best answer, and you have to write all the questions for this chapter. You should not leave any questions. Very short answers 4 questions, short answers 5 questions, long answers 3 questions. All the question answers are available in this PDF format. So this PDF format already I have sent to you. Please you check and write your classwork and submit it on next Wednesday. Thank you.